All right, so welcome back. In this one, we need to start creating an application, and the main starting point of the app, it should be the main.js. This is why it's telling us failed to load main.js. So this means that we need to go to the source, create a new file, and we need to make sure that we do have this main.js. At the top, we need to import the create app, just like we did previously, create app from Vue. And then at the end, we need to create the application. So it's going to be create app, open and close, and we use the mount. We already did this before on the basics section. And we need to target the ID that we are going to be using for the application. And the ID is this one. It's going to be app. And we know this, I know. So I'm going to go here and say that we want to use the app. Now, since this create app needs to use a component, we could create a component right here, but the convention is that this needs to import and read a valid Vue component called app.vue. So that's what we need. I'm going to go to source. I'm going to create a new file called app. And then we need to do Vue. Once we create the app.vue, we need to tell the main.js that we're going to use that component. And we need to import it, import app, and then from dot, and then / and then app.vue. Now we just pass that component as the kickstart of our application. Still, if I save this and I just run it, even if I kill the server and run it again, it will work, but it will give us error messages. It's going to say, pre-transform error, at least one template or script is required in a single file component. Now, the thing is that this Vue component, this one, it's completely empty. And how Vue works is that if you create a component, you need to have at least something, a template, a script, or something. If not, it's just going to give you an error. Now, a Vue component has 3 different parts. You have a template right here, and this is going to be equal to whatever HTML that you want to create. So let's say that I want to say hello guys, something like that. Then the second part is going to be the script that we're going to use to run, JavaScript. And then it has a third part, which is going to be the style. And right here, you put all the styles for the component. So you have a template, a JavaScript, and a CSS. And this is a valid Vue component. If I save this and I scroll down, maybe it's going to just, run for us. Maybe not. I'm going to kill the server and run it again. And now, it's running and we get no errors. If I go to my application, we can see the hello guys. And if I do a right click and bring the inspector and go to console, we have no errors. So this is a valid component. Okay, so on a Vue component, you need to have at least the template, just the template. If I delete the styles and I delete the script and I save it and reload the application, we get no errors. The application still works because, we are rendering, we are just providing something back. Now, the thing is that, we want to use Vue logic right here. And we do this, within the script tag. And now, everything that we did before, we learned on the previous sections, still works. It works exactly the same. But we can change some things. So let's say I want to create a name within the script, and I want to create a setup, and I want to export the name, and I want to use it right here. So we do the same thing we've been doing. But this time, this occasion, we need to export, and then we need to export default, and then open and close, and only then we call that setup that we used a lot already. And inside the setup, I guess we need to provide a property. I'm going to say const, and the name equals to, and then Francis, and then we need to export it if we want to use it. We need to return it. So return, and we return the name. You know what? I'm going to say hello. It's hello. And then world. I know it's the classic one. There is a nice story behind the hello world. It's like the first thing a computer returned. This is why this is so popular, right? There's a reason why the hello world exists. Okay, so since now we are returning this, I can say, right here, open and say name. And if I save it, this is going to give us back the hello world. So, not so different. Now, I got some good news. We don't need to do all of this. Since we want to work with the setup and Vue works with the composition API, we work with the setup, well, you can remove some parts. If you're going to use a combination of the composition API and the options API, and then maybe right here at the top, you're going to do some, you're going to create some other operations with JavaScript, well, then you're going to need to do this. But if you just want to work with the setup, you can remove this, you can remove this, and remove that. We don't need to use it. Vite and Vue are gonna do it for us. But here on the script, we need to do setup. So everything that we do right here is going to be within the rules of the setup. Another thing that we can do, we don't need to export or return the name or every property that we create. If I'm creating a const called name, that's going to be available within the template. And if we want to import maybe the refs or use some refs, well, we just go right here, we say import, and then I use a ref and from, and then Vue, of course. And then inside we just, do the ref, and this will be available within the template without doing the export default, without doing the return and anything else. If I save the application and go and reload this, we have, it still works and we have no errors. So, if you're working with its setup, this is much, much easier. If you're going to do some other things, mix the setup with the composition and JavaScript, you need to do the other way. You need to use the other way. So this is, the second tag that you get. You get the template, you have the script, and then you have the style. And the style is the styles for this component. So if I'm using an H1, so let's say that I create H1 and I say that the H1s should be color of red, and I just save it, is going to apply it for this component. Now there's a lot more to the style tag. It's not super important right now. We're gonna talk about this in a few sections. For now, I guess I want to move forward and talk about something more important, which are, the components, how we can import and link different components within our application.